This is RTE Radio 1, broadcasting on AM and FM 1. Now at 5:30, it's time for Monica Moody.
I always wanted to say that.
And welcome, listeners. You join us live right in the middle of our Stop the Killing celebrity darts match.
Stop the killing!
Well done, Norma. Hold her pint for her, Terry. And since this is the last show in my hit series, I've decided to have a bit of a party today. So I've got a keg in, and all the celebrity women from my personal peace campaign are here. Hello, girls.
Hello, Monica.
Yes, we're having one last fundraising effort since I'm ditching the campaign this week now that the fine weather is here.
Oh, are you leaving the Stop the Killing campaign, Monica?
Yes, Donna, listeners. My garden needs attending to, and besides, apart from a few Protestants who are still going mental up there, the war is practically over. I, Monica Moody, have single-handedly ended the war in Northern Ireland.
Yes, well done.
Thank you, Garrett Fitzgerald.
Oh, ouch.
And put those darts down. You're no match for these highly trained celebrity women.
Where are my arrows?
What?
They're the ones with the naked woman on them.
Garrett has them, Gemma. Oh, go on then, Dr. Fitz, since it is the last show. Just one throw.
Right.
Go on, Garrett.
He aims, he fires. Oh.
Bullseye. Well done, former world leader. Straight into the Caravaggio. I've had that Caravaggio for an entire series, listeners, and I haven't got as much as a scratch on it. It's been to New York, to the Phoenix Park, to Belfast, and most treacherous of all, I brought it to a dinner party at Eileen Reid's, and there isn't a mark on it. And now, Dr. Garrett Fitzgerald, former world leader, you've practically taken Christ's eye out with a carelessly thrown dart. Honestly, Garrett.
Oh, dear. Perhaps if I got some polyfiller.
Leave it, Garrett. BB's not in today. Come and join this fascinating discussion on human sacrifice on the set of Head to Toe. Now, my guests today are Donna.
Hello, everybody.
Garrett. Father Tom Doughty.
Happy last show, Monica.
Current affairs cook Nullig Nolan. More later.
Happy Christmas.
Tragic couple extraordinaire Des and Sinead Brady.
Hello, Monica.
Orla Gearan manning the keg, and Carmen Sita Hederman poised, as always, at the piano. And once again, we're joined by the pride of Radio Ulster. Though he's hardly up against any stiff competition, Donna. Jackie Kelly, welcome.
Hello, Monica. It's lovely to be here.
Yes.
And before we go on, Monica, could I wish a big Belfast get well soon to my mother? She had a wee fall during the week, so here's hoping that she'll soon be back on her feet again.
Absolutely, Jackie. Back on her feet and back on the streets of Belfast to dodge the last few bullets of this tragic war. Now, celebrity suicide, isn't it awful?
Awful.
Another teenage idol, Kurt Cobain of pop group Nirvana, in a drug-induced frenzy, has taken his own life. First Karen Carpenter, then River Phoenix, now Kurt Cobain. Once they'd a price on their heads, now they've a tag on their toe.
Yes, that was a very tragic death, Karen Carpenter. There's something very sad about a young girl with an eating disorder, something
bless her.
very touching, very earthy, very
Precisely,
dirty,
Father Tom. I was on my knees with the J-cloth and the toilet duck the other day, and I found myself asking, is Ray D'Arcy next?
Monica, for pity's sake.
Think about it, Garrett. He has a vast youth following. My son Rónán idolises him. He's got posters of him all over his bedroom, copies of the Den magazine, lumberjack shirts. You know, Donna, I came in recently with Tony from a function, and we found Rónán sitting there all alone watching Blackboard Jungle, just panting with excitement.
Yes, it's very good.
But I'm terrified, Father Tom. I'm terrified that Ray D'Arcy will peak too soon.
It'd be a shocking waste of a lumberjack shirt.
Yes, Father Tom, a pointless waste. Isn't it terrifying, listeners, to think that Ray D'Arcy, maddened by celebrity, might, like River Phoenix, and they're the dead spit of each other, Garrett.
River who?
Ray D'Arcy might suddenly, crazily decide to top himself.
I I just hope and pray that Cynthia Niamh doesn't decide to take her own life in the middle of presenting the Eurovision.
Right.
I think it would mar the whole evening. As you know, I won the Eurovision 24 years ago.
We know that, Dana, and we also know the 24 years of violence which were your legacy, lovey. And now that it's all over, I just hope you're satisfied. That's all I can say. Father John?
Suicide, of course, is never condoned by Holy Mother Church.
I know, Father Tom. And if Cynthia were to commit suicide, particularly autoerotic suicide, in front of an estimated 500 million TV viewers,
Right.
wrapping the flex of the microphone around her neck, orange segment in her mouth, gagging
Monica.
incoherently in at least 2 major European languages, well, I'm sorry, but I think it'd be pretty damn shabby behaviour. Pretty damn shabby, Jackie.
I can see that there is a risk, all right, Monica.
Yeah,
And this is why I think Candy Devine should be kept in reserve, so to speak, to step in. She's a wonderful guest, Candy. I've had her on my show hundreds of times. Actually, she's a lot of loyal fans in the province.
Jackie, sorry, lovey. We're talking about the Eurovision Song Contest now. We're not talking about some tacky Northern Irish chat show full of losers, rejects, husbands and wazzers.
Monica, if I could return for a moment to the question of Cynthia Niamh throttling the life out of herself on international television.
By all means, Father Tom, please do. Jackie and I were just engaging in a little cross-border dialogue. I'm sorry, Father Tom, but Candy Devine, I just couldn't let that go unchallenged.
Well, I understand. Now, ordinarily, as I said, the Church would condemn unreservedly autoerotic suicide of this type. However, if it were to help prevent Ireland winning the Eurovision a third time running.
A sacrifice, in other words, Father Tom, in order to prevent an even greater tragedy.
Monica, if I could just point out that statistically the death of a Eurovision presenter, suicidal or not, would technically not affect the votes of the European juries, since they are decided and sealed sometime previously. The only thing that would be effective, and I've made this point repeatedly in my column in the Irish Times, in the threatened event of another Irish Eurovision win, would, of course, be a NATO airstrike.
You're right, former world leader.
Right.
It is the only way. I'll make an appeal right now to NATO High Command because I know they're listening.
Shortwave radio fanatics.
NATO High Command, Monica Moody calling. General, sir, whatever your name is, listen. If it's starting to look like we're winning by the time we get to Cyprus, bomb. Torch the place. Launch the planes during the ad break. Have them circling the city during the initial voting. If we're more than 12 points clear by the time the phone link to Estonia breaks down, strike. Attack before it's too late. And if you can knock out Candy Devine on the way back, so much the better.
Oh, Monica, I think it would be very sad if all the Eurovision performers died.
They're dead already, lovey. That's why they're in it. Now we have our current affairs cook in the studio with us today, Nullig Nolan.
Happy Christmas.
Welcome.
Hello, Monica.
Nullig, I know you agree with me when I say that far too few Irish women are involving themselves fully in international conflict.
Absolutely, Monica. I feel strongly that we could be playing a much more vital role on the world stage, and we could also be using more Irish products. Irish farmhouse cheeses, for instance, I'm very, very excited about.
I love the smell of a good Irish, soft, moist cheese.
And I
especially
know
a
that
goat's
with
cheese.
this in mind, Nullig, you've been doing marvellous work preparing and hosting dinner parties in the South Dublin area as a means of educating Irish women about international politics.
That's right. Each week I try to prepare a 3-course meal themed around some major international conflict. And that's what I've done for you all today in the studio.
Yummy.
Fabulous, Nullig. We've a marvellous array of dishes in front of us, listeners. Talk us through them, Nullig.
Well, Monica, the big news this week is the South African elections, and that's what I've chosen as the theme for this meal.
Fabulous. Now, let's start with these here. Get your hands
Fine.
out.
Yes.
I was just saying, was it hot?
Well, this is the first course.
Yeah.
They're little mini quiches in ANC colours. I'm using spinach, wild mushroom and a bit of yellow pepper in the middle. Short crust pastry base and all with a little Winnie Mandela style necklace of cherry tomatoes spread across it. Simple to do. It's all in the fact sheet to symbolise communist takeover.
Well, it's very tasty. Use your napkin, Gerry.
Sorry, I got a very ripe cherry tomato.
Let's move on to the entree, Nolly.
Well, as you know, Monica, I feel very strongly that fish is still much undervalued in Ireland.
Yeah.
So I've opted for fillet of cod, representing the white minority, completely surrounded by a kidney bean puree for that lovely dark, rich colour. And to finish it off, I've piped Duchess potato around the rim to suggest the long-term effect of the UN sanctions.
You know, all this lovely food reminds me of the time I spent on the missions in Africa.
Yeah.
We used to have a little joke, myself and other missionaries, and it was, what do you call a 17-year-old Congolese boy with a big spear, as you might say?
God, I've no idea.
A suitable treat for Casement. Do you get it? You see, that was Sir Roger Casement, gunrunner and homosexual extraordinaire. See, a suitable treat for Casement. Me and the other missionaries, we'd often go out now and tell jokes in the evening. Nocturnal missionaries, we used to call ourselves.
Lovely,
Goodness me.
Father Tom. And for the dessert, Nolly.
Well, chocolate seemed an obvious choice here.
Lovely.
So I've done a basic sponge base.
And what does that symbolise?
Well, it doesn't actually symbolise anything. It's just sponge. Yeah. But on top of that, I have made a miniature reenactment of the Soweto uprising. I've used... Yes, lovely. I've used Bourneville. But any dark chocolate would do.
Look at the little
you
men.
just pop it in the oven at gas mark 5 for half an hour, leave to cool, then serve.
And all these recipes are available on Airtel or in the RT guide, is that right?
Yeah, or you could write in for a fact sheet.
Nollig Nolan, encouraging Irish women to be that little bit more adventurous with their cooking. Thank you. If any dinner party menu can help save lives in South Africa, this is the one.
This is the one.
And while we're on the subject, allow me to present to South Africa, but in particular Winnie Mandela, this tribute of a Waterford glass in Catha Warrior Shield cum serving platter.
Oh my goodness.
Which was specially made for the show and which I'm presenting to you, Nollig Nolan, on her behalf.
Oh, thank
careful.
you very much,
We
Monica.
also have a Stop the Killing t-shirt,
Stop the killing.
shoulder bag and pen.
Oh, thank you.
Terry's been wearing the t-shirt, lovey, but the stains should wash out.
What?
Biotech, highly concentrated. I'll say no more. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the show, I'm abandoning my personal peace campaign this week.
Stop the killing.
But before it draws its last strangulating breath, myself and the other celebrity women thought we'd have one last fundraising event, hence the dart match at the back of the studio. And incidentally, listeners, Snormus Smurfett is trashing all comers. And we also thought that we'd celebrate the success of Stop the Killing in song. So I've got together with Garrett, Jackie, Father Tom and Dana, and Alma Carroll has joined us representing the celebrity women. And we'd like now to perform for you our own composition, The War is Over. Take it away, Carmencita.
The days are brighter, the sun shines high.
The soldiers know that there's no need to die.
The tanks are silent, the bombs defused.
The Kalashnikov rifles will never be used.
The women of Ireland have ended the war. The children of Belfast sing once more.
The slaughter is over, the killing is past. Blood-soaked Ireland knows peace at last. No more will we gaze to the sights of the gun. The war is over and we have won.
bullets tear through the sky.
No more will the innocent victims die.
No more will the people cry tears of blood.
No more will the terrorists hide under our hood.
Celebrities showed them the killing was wrong. The children of Belfast sing this song.
The slaughter is over, the killing is past. Blood-soaked Ireland knows peace at last. No more will we gaze through the sights of a gun. The war is over and we have won.
And all over the world, when trouble breaks out, think of Northern Ireland and give me a shout. Because war can't be won by a tank or a gun. And killing is never worthwhile or fun. So if you've a fight or a cause on your hands, celebrity women will bring peace to your lands.
The slaughter is over, the killing is past.
The killing is past.
Blood-soaked Ireland knows peace at last.
Peace at last.
No more will we gaze through the sights of a gun. The war is over and we have won.
The war is over, and I have won. Thank you, girls. Thank you for your applause, for your selfless work on behalf of Stop the Killing, and thanks for all your personal tokens and gifts. Thanks for the free holiday bowler. Florida, Father Tom.
Oh, dear.
White trash. I'll try and trade it in for Barbados. Now, on a brighter note, Father Pat Buckley, isn't he awful?
Well, certainly the hierarchy would frown upon his so-called maverick activities.
And quite right, too. Sinead and Des Brady, welcome.
How's it going,
Aye,
Monica?
thanks.
Now, Sinead, you were married to Des in...
September last year.
That's right. Tell us your horrific story, loving.
Well, I was sitting on the bus one day and a load of people got on in Ringsend.
Awful.
So there were hardly any seats left, though I didn't particularly notice because I was stuck into a Patricia Scanlon
A
book.
double tragedy. Go on, loving.
I'd love to get stuck into a
Father
Patricia's.
Tom.
Well, this bloke anyway sat down beside me and I wasn't paying much attention to him. And the next thing was I heard this kind of mumbling coming from the seat behind and I felt some wet on the back of my neck. So I looked round and there was this priest and he had this holy water shaker thing. And the next thing was he said, I now pronounce you man and wife.
He'd married you.
Yeah, to this bloke who was just sitting beside me.
Des, you were that bloke.
Yeah.
What's your memory of your wedding day?
Well, Monica, as Sinead says, we were just sitting there minding our own business, and this priest, Father Pat Buckley, marries us. So I threatened to burst him, but he decked me with the holy water carrier, took a tenner off his Sinead for performing the ceremony, and got off the bus in Pearse Street.
Ghastly. It's a slum.
This is amazing, Monica. This priest, this Father Pat Buckley, married these two poor wee children who didn't even know each other.
Apparently so, Jackie. Des?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Of course, the hierarchy are well aware of Father Pot's activities in this area, Monica, and they're not at all happy about them, in fairness, I can assure you. Was the holy water shaker like this one here, Sinead? Well, get it out from under me scapular.
Put it away, Father Tom. It's disgusting. Sinead and Des, you're not the first complete strangers that this maverick priest has married, and you've tracked down other tragic couples like yourselves, isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, you see, after we were married, we decided to try to get in touch with any other couples that Father Pat might have married in a similar way.
Right.
So we put an ad in Dublin.
Very effective.
And in a few of the other papers, and through that we met loads of other couples that Father Pat had married, and we decided to form our own organisation.
Yeah, it's called Stop Father Pat Buckley Before He Marries Again.
Right. And what about these other couples? Had they similar horror stories?
Oh, yeah, they did. We met several couples who'd been married on public transport.
Dart strike horror, stop the killing.
When Father Pat had been sitting behind them.
Yeah, and there were a few who were just passing by him in cars when he married them. We also met 4 couples who had been on a plane going over Father Pat's home, and he'd leaned out the window and married them. And one of those couples was actually engaged to 2 other people, and they had to break it off with him after Father Pat married them. He's caused a lot of heartbreak, really.
That's right, yeah. He's also been known to marry people through the TV screen. One of the couples in our organisation is McLynn and Mary McAvoy.
We tried to get them on, listeners, but they didn't want to talk about it, so we got stuck with these 2 instead. Go on, Des.
Yeah, well, Father Pat thought that Biddy and Moody would make a lovely couple in real life, and so he married them through the telly.
Horrific. My stomach is sickened just thinking about Mick Lally and Mary McAvoy really having sex.
That's right.
It's bad enough that they're romping naked on screen every Sunday night. Anyway, Sinead, one question. How do these couples know that Father Pat has married them?
Well, if they don't see him in person, they get an invoice from him within the week, Monica.
An invoice?
Yeah, for a tenner. That's his stipend. It's 20 quid extra if you want a papal blessing. Most couples go for the blessing, though. It's nice to have.
Isn't it? Myself and Tony never got one, Donna, but I bought Twinks the other day at her bring and buy sale. Gorgeous.
I know. I bring mine with me everywhere I go.
I know you do, lovey, and you've got a bit of sick on it. Anyway, Sinead and Des, your story has touched the heart of a nation. You're doing marvellous work.
Lovely.
And let's just hope that Father Pat Buckley doesn't watch the Eurovision. Gerry and Cynthia, mano a mano. I'm breaking out in a sweat just thinking about it. We'll move on.
Well, as I understand, they paid out some £7,000 in payments over the past couple of months, but there's still accumulated arrears of £13,556 on the mortgage. However, Twink did say that she has engagements over the coming months, which
Oh,
should help
welcome
to...
back, listeners. We're just talking about mad cow disease. Now, the World Cup. Thousands of Irish fans will be heading over to the States in a few weeks' time to support Jack and the lads.
Hooray!
And let's just hope that their houses aren't burgled while they're away and that their dole isn't cut off when they get back.
On the contrary, Monica, the country is caught up in the spirit of goodwill that surrounds the Irish team. Everyone is behind them, whether they're staying at home, like you are, or going to the States, like myself and Father Tom Doughty.
Isn't it well for you, lads? Are you all set?
Absolutely, Jockey. We're all packed and raring to go.
Yes, I see your luggage over there in the corner.
Yes, we've a taxi order to take us to the airport as soon as the show is over. You can never check in too early.
Yes, well, make sure you take all those bags with you, former world leader.
Of course.
Twink and her clarinet-blowing husband are moving into this studio for the summer, and I don't want them falling over your belongings every time they run out to the toilet. Orla Kieran's ruined 3 pairs of tights on that big black bag.
I'm sorry, Monica. It's my overhead projector. It doesn't disassemble very well.
Yes, well, just you make sure that you take them all with you when you go. And what is that sticking out of your bag, Father Tom Doughty?
Oh, no. That's very amusing, no, Monica. That's a blow-up dolly that Chief Buthelezi gave me back in Africa. I'll put an Ireland jersey on her and I'll give her an old shake at the matches. Her name's Niamh, by the way. She's a lovely redhead, a lovely earthy
She's
redhead.
gorgeous, Father Tom. Where did you say you got her again?
No, from some witch doctor or other, Jackie.
And I've made a flag for the occasion. It's a huge tricolour with Dr. Gar Fitzgerald, former world leader, and Father Tom Doughty, Lenten observer extraordinaire, say hello written on it. We'll be hanging it from our hotel window and we'll bring it to the games as well.
Yes, well, let's hope you have a wonderful time, that the Irish team don't disgrace themselves like they did the last time, and that there isn't a plane crash or similar horrific tragedy involving millions of innocent football supporters. Garrett, get your sandwiches.
I've been saving them for the trip, Monica. I've made just enough statistically to feed myself and Father Tom Doughty.
Just get them, Garrett.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I have to...
Oh, look, and mind that overhead projector. Oh, well done, former world leader. Straight through the Caravaggio. Look at him, Jackie.
You've been framed, former world leader.
You've been framed. Oh, very good, Jackie. Here, Garrett, chuck us over an egg and onion.
I can't actually move. I seem to be trapped in the remains of the Caravaggio.
Oh, go and get one off him, Dada. Well, we can't give it back to the National Gallery in that condition. Raymond Keaveney would go ballistic. Look, we'll hide it under the piano, Garrett, and blame it on Twink.
Oh, you couldn't do that, Monica, in fairness. No, it'll be immoral.
Do you know, you're right, Father Tom. She wouldn't appreciate its artistic merit.
Well,
I'll tell you what, Nullig, you can give it to Chief Boutalese as a gesture of friendship on behalf of the Irish people. We'll fix up the middle bit with sellotape and bung it in brown paper.
The Africans will love that, Monica. It'll hang in a place of great honour.
I know. Winnie Mandela is probably chucking out her flying ducks to make room for it, even as we speak. Here, Jackie, help Garrett take it off. Listeners, my thanks to all my guests, both today and all through this potentially award-winning series. We've had a lot of fun, shed a few tears, or at least Garrett has, had a hit record, destroyed a priceless painting, and ended the war in Northern Ireland. And now there just isn't enough time to do anything else. I'm Monica Moody. Will you let me in?
Pass us over that dolly there, Father Tom, till I have a closer look at it.
Well, be careful now, Jackie. She doesn't take to strangers, in fairness.
Well, I think that went very well, Orla. Have you got a light?
What do you want me to do with all the stuff the Stop the Killing Women gave you?
Oh, shag it in the bin. It's all crap anyway, except the holiday.
And there's bits of the Caravaggio all over the studio floor. Should I preserve them?
Orla Gearan, you don't think that I'd be foolish enough to bring a priceless painting into RTE, do you? This notorious complex of thieves and hooligans. It was a fake, Orla, a copy. Louis Lebrocchi knocked it up for me. It wasn't even a very good copy, for God's sake. No, I had the real one at home, but I had a very good offer from a dealer in the States, so I've decided to sell it. And don't look at me like that, Orla Gearan. It'll save lives. I'll put the whole lot into a new peace campaign for Rwanda or somewhere like that. And I should have enough left over to buy Twink's house. I'd say I'll get it for a snip, even counting the cost of the fumigation. And I'm having the garden dug up before I move in. I have a bit of a theory on this. And anyway, I've wrapped the picture in Garrett's tricolour, so if it's discovered in customs, I can blame him. Speak of the devil.
You're still here. I just want to make a quick phone call, Monica.
Fine, that'll be 20p. Who are you ringing?
I have to ring another taxi. The first one ran over my bag with the tricolour and the sandwiches in it. And when I was trying to retrieve them, Father Tom Doughty and the dolly inadvertently left me behind as they sped off.
I'm sure they'll be very upset, Garrett.
Anyway, the sandwiches were completely destroyed. There was salad cream and brown sauce all over the flag. I had to throw the whole lot into the incinerator.
Garrett Fitzgerald, former world leader and tosspot extraordinaire, you have just ruined my life!
That final episode of Monica Moody was presented by Pauline McLynn, Jonathan White, Pom Boyd, Niamh Linehan and Peter Hanley. Carmencita Hedderman's piano was tuned by Rónán Johnston. Monica Moody was devised by Gerry McNamara and the script was by Fiona Looney and Gerry McNamara. The programme was produced by John Caden.